Muni Muni Maha Muniye Swaha. Let us make 3 prostrations together. Please be seated. Let us all put our hands together to request Geshe to give teachings according to the well wishes and capacities of the students. Geshe, please give the teaching.
Page 4. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. Sanye joda zoge chonam na chanjo bardo tane kyapsuch dage jinso gebe sonam ki dola penjir sanje jubara isho Sanye joda zoge chonam na chanjo bardo tane kyapsuch dage jinso gebe sonam ki dola penjir sanje jubara isho Sanje joda zoge jonam da chanjo bardo dane gyus dage jinso gebe zonam ge dola benjire sanje dubare jo Sanje joda zoge jonam da chanjo bardo dane gyus dage jinso gebe zonam ge dola benjire sanje dubare jo Om ye dharma eto prabhavam etom te sham data gato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma eto prabhavam etum te sham dathaga yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati shramanaye svaha Om ye dharma eto prabhavam etum te sham dathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the greats here. Tirtha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhisattva Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva Okay, this evening at 6 o'clock, since that there's a as a part of Tibet's program, and now today collaborated with Tushita Center, Dharamsala, we have the evening, the undertaking the ceremony of the Bodhisattva vow, aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So anybody who likes to join us, feel free to join. So it'll happen here. Okay, so as a part of the celebrating His Holiness's birthday. Yeah. Okay, we are on verse number 77, the substance of phenomena, which we discussed in two ways. One is the substance of phenomena in the context of the practice of the four mindfulnesses, and the four mindfulnesses to be understood on two different levels. One is the specific understanding of each of the four mindfulnesses versus and all the four mindfulnesses in the context of understanding emptiness. So there are two of them, and the Bodhisattva Shantideva here explained it on the basis of so of course even for the minor practitioners, they have to practice in both ways. So it says first in relation to the close placement of mindfulness on the body. 77. Because of the misperception of the self, the arrogance, which is a source of suffering, increases. Because of misperception of self, meaning they're seeing the self as objectively real. So the word here uses the arrogance. Arrogance is a little strong word. The English translation, it can be like is anybody who can think of a word for, say, the arrogance, but less intense? Arrogance is a very strong word. Prideful? No. Confident is, I would say, very positive. Ego is very strong. Conceit is, I think, okay. So the point is that let's say arrogance, meaning that the misperception, which makes to slide into, say, the afflictions. Arrogance, which is a source of suffering. So thinking that I exist, it truly exists. And then on the basis attachment to self, then mine, all these things ensue after that. So the source of suffering increases. Suppose you say, but that cannot be undermined, saying that you is the advocates of objective existence. Advocates of objective existence, they say that even if you think that this seeing the self as object real is the source of all the miseries, but you cannot get rid of this and the self-grasping ignorance. So, but that cannot be undermined. Then Bodhisattva Shantideva said, he responded, well then, it is best to meditate on selflessness. So the idea is that how we conceive the self as object real. And we study how the self doesn't exist subjectively, see the emptiness. Once you get a glimpse of this, and then try to meditate on it. Study, reflect, meditate, study, reflect, meditate. Keep studying more, and your experience will go deeper. And then emotions will be gradual. And of course, keep in mind that the contaminant karmas, first, we need to really get undermine that, mitigate. We cannot get rid of this completely at this moment, but at least we can undermine these. We do not really endorse these contaminated karmas, or particularly negative karmas. And then the afflictions arise. attachment, anger, jealous, all these things arise. But we should not endorse these. Endorse meaning that, okay, somebody says, okay, you have this attachment. If the anger is not good, yeah, I understand it. Yeah, it's not good. I have to do something. So at least this much, this thought is required. Whereas, no, what's the problem? No, I will teach you a lesson. I will teach this person a lesson. This is where you would really endorse anger. So with this, then seeing emptiness is impossible. So we have to undermine the afflictions. Then the inappropriate tension. We have to undermine the inappropriate tension by seeing by viewing things in relative terms. Okay. Well, then it is best to meditate on selflessness. 78. Now, what is this? What is that? The mindfulness of the? We just started mindfulness and it's a jump to mindfulness of phenomena. Mindfulness of body. So, how the body is empty of intrinsic reality. So earlier, how the self is empty of intrinsic reality by seeing the self and looking for the self through the eyes of ultimate analysis within the body. So now the body, seeing the emptiness of the body, and that's the ultimate analysis. 78. A body is neither the feet. Body meaning that we see the individual, some person, your mom, your dad, as your mom, not as a bunch of atoms. Your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife, your children, and so forth. So when they appear in this particular form, where is it? Is it in the feet? No, so that is with respect to, that is in the eyes of ultimate analysis. You're getting it simply by saying that, oh, the feet is not the cell, feet is not the body, the calves not body, and so forth. And this is more like conventional analysis. In the eyes of ultimate analysis, for example, say, this flower is not the self. It's conventional analysis. But in the eyes of the ultimate analysis, you go there and you end up seeing the parts, and then you analyze that the self is the body is nobody to be seen there. So we shouldn't get mixed up the two things. The body, when you say the body, your hand and so forth, these are your body. But then body here means the special, say, the body of the person, which you see as something distant, something different from the atoms, bunch of atoms. So there's a body. Do you see can you identify if everybody's made of atoms, would you identify your mother? If you are seeing everybody as a bunch of atoms, do you think that you will be able to distinguish your mother from others? You cannot, right? So, but you can identify the mother from others. At the moment, we can, right? So, you are seeing something. You're perceiving something there, something distinctive feature of your mom. So, that thing, where is it? Is it in that body? Is it in the atoms, the hand, the calves, and so forth? This is the analysis in the eyes of ultimate analysis. 78. Body is neither the feet nor the calves, nor is the body the thighs or the hips. Neither the belly nor the back is the body, nor is the body the chest or the arms. 79. The size of the torso and the hands are not a body, nor is the body the armpits or the shoulders. The visible organs also are not it. Not it means not the body. And neither is the body the head nor the neck. So what then is the body? What then is the body as objective real? 80. If this body were located with a portion in all of these parts, then all of the parts are located in its own parts, where the parts in turn located. Say the body is nothing but made of the parts, and each of the parts, they have their own parts, and smaller parts, they have their sub-parts. You keep doing like this. How long, to what extent we can go? Keep analyzing the parts, sub-parts. How long can we go? 2 times, 3 times, 4 times? Forever or infinitely? we can go ad infinitum. You're getting it? There's no end. So therefore, where is that? Something very objectively there, nothing to but objectively there. We can just keep going like this ad infinitum. 80. If this body were located with a portion in all of these parts, then although the parts are located in its own parts, where the parts in turn located, again with their own parts. 81. And if a body itself in its entirety were located everywhere, and hence and so forth, there would be as many bodies as there were hands and so on. 82. As a body does not exist either outside or inside the parts, how could the hands and so forth possess a body? As it does not exist separately from the hands and so on, how could it possibly be true existence? So true existence meaning that it should exist the way it appears to us. And then when you go to analyze this, the way how it appears as subject real when we don't find it. So therefore it is not truly existent. 83. Thus a body is not truly existent, but because of ignorance, and then we see something there. And we see one person different from another person, and that too is very efficacious. If it is not from the object, how does it appear? So it says, again, repeat it, it says that 83. Thus the body is not truly existent, but because of ignorance, the mind perceiving a self in hands and so forth arises. Like the mind perceiving a man in an effigy. In the effigy, there's no person there, there's no man there, but the mind sees a man there from distance in the effigy. Because the effigy is molded in the shape of a man. 84. For as long as the conditions assemble. So, although the man, you see effigy from distance, and you see as a man, and there's no man there in the effigy, but you see something, and you don't see this effigy as a flower, you don't see this effigy as a house, but effigy as a man. So why it appears as a man is because of dependent origination, dependence on various factors which allows you to see that as the man. 84. And for as long as the conditions which made you to see as a man, these are assembled, the figure of the effigy is seen as a man. Likewise, for as long as there are hands and so on, they are seen as the body. 85. Similarly, because of its being composite of fingers, now going into more moderate, so you are made of the body parts, like hand, and hand is made of the fingers, the finger made of the joints, and the joints are again made of the tiny bones, and tiny bones made of the cells, bone cells made of the molecules and so forth. Just keep going like this, it goes ad infinitum. 85. Similarly, because of its being a composite of fingers, whereas the hand, the same analysis can be applied to that finger because of being a composite of joints, and to a joint as well with a breakdown into its own parts. 86. And to a part as well through breaking it down into particles, and to that particle as well because of directional divisions, and to the directional parts also because of lacking intrinsic parts. Like space, the particles do not truly exist. 87. Therefore, what wise person would be attached? So if we keep reflecting on like this, then we see a sense of the object as intrinsic real dismantles. So with this, then we start to see like illusion. So some teachers, they say that initially when you go into this analysis, initially we tend to see things as, we tend to some illusion, some things as like a soft, not as real, like a cloud, like a fog. These experiences will come. This is what Lama indicated. But that simply because you get these experiences doesn't mean that you got emptiness. So if you feel that you got emptiness, and many people, particularly the modern people from the modern education, there's a great likelihood that we can easily get stuck there, thinking that I got emptiness. The moment you say that I got emptiness, finished, it is you are depriving yourself of getting the deeper emptiness. So therefore, when when you do that, get these experiences, you feel very fortunate. I'm very fortunate I got this experience. And may all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas continue to bless me to that I be able to go deeper and deeper into the emptiness. So I keep in mind that I'm just, say that look at the great masters in the Buddhist universities who spent like 30, 40, 50 years, and how they respond to Arya-Nagarjuna, and how the respect that we have in Arya-Nagarjuna, the respect that they have in Arya-Nagarjuna is very different. They spent all these many years. So which means that if the way I see emptiness, if that's emptiness, they should have seen the emptiness way before. And now they will not really continue to do all these things. But the fact that they are doing this, and then when you go with them, when you interact with them, you can see that there's a weight there in what they are saying. And you think that you have to realize emptiness, but when you interact with them, you see that you are nowhere. You could feel it. So therefore, it is at times when you think that you got emptiness, it's good to meet with these great teachers who spend like 30, 40, 50, 60 years into this, and then meet with them, then discuss, share your experiences, and then ask if there's any advice. You keep interacting. Then you see that you are still just a lightweight. There's immense gravity there. You can feel that. Okay. 87. Therefore, what wise person would be attached to a bodily form that is like a dream? And since the body does not truly exist that way, then what is male and what is female? Okay. So the maleness, femaleness is nothing but is a quality of the body. And the body is nothing made of atoms. And then you go on this atomic level. Earlier what you saw as a male, female, just see where is it. Just where is it. And then you may feel a little like the uneasiness, or some kind of feeling of uneasiness can come to you, seeing that where is this gender distinction? It is not there. But through ultimate conventional analysis, undeniably I see somebody as male, somebody as female, and so forth. But then on that level, I don't see that. The feeling can be very strong, because our emotions, what triggered greater emotions, so these objects, when you see the emptiness, then the sense of the uneasiness, or sense of the little, say the experience of shock, experience of that you not be able to believe in this, that you question your perception, this thing would be stronger. Okay. 87. Therefore, what wise person would be attached to a bodily form that is like a dream? That's very true. And since the body doesn't truly exist that way, then what is male and what is a female? Okay. So maleness, femaleness, we can see them as the object. We can see them as characteristics of the object. And you may see that there's a person there, but the maleness and femaleness dissolve. Then even as a person, even that's also not there from the object. So there are many layers of the uncovering the subtle reality. The next, okay, self is the body done, meaning that even the body is just like a dream. The next is feeling. And do you see something in here? What we said is that the body as impure, feeling as suffering nature, mind as impermanent, phenomena as selfless nature. So you say, although some of us, for many of us, it may be like the first time hearing about the four mindfulnesses. And do you see something similarities you have studied before, learned before, heard before with these four mindfulnesses? Do you see some similarities? Are you familiar with these concepts, Jane? The four seals. The four seals, very good. So we see that the four seals, all composite things, impermanent. So this impermanent So with the four seals, Buddha taught all composite things. In the context of the four mindfulnesses, mind is impermanent. And all contaminated things are suffering nature. In the context of the four seals, in the context of the four mindfulnesses, feelings as miserable or at nature of suffering. Then the body is impure in the context of the four seals. Say it louder. Emptiness. So body is impure. The emptiness. Which line? There's no emptiness in this line known as emptiness. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Within this line, which line is that? Third line, third seal. So in third seal, there are two segments. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. So this emptiness, that is for impurities. Okay. So that is for the impurities. And in the context of the four mindfulness, impurities apply to the body. Okay, and then what is next? All phenomena are the nature of the emptiness and selflessness. So selflessness in the context of the four mindfulnesses with phenomena. In the context of the four seals, that I know. Selflessness of what? All phenomena. All phenomena is the nature of emptiness of all phenomena. Whereas in the context of the four mindfulnesses, the phenomena as opposed to the body, feeling, and the mind. Good. Okay. So next is the feeling. Out of the four mindfulnesses, mindfulness of the feeling. 88. So it says selflessness is a phenomena in relation to close placement of mindfulness of feeling. And feeling, how many kinds of feeling are there? How many kinds of feeling are there? 3. What are they? Pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. Okay. Shohili is expert in this. Right? 3 feelings, 3 poisons. Where's the hope? Where's the hope? Okay. Right. Okay, 3 feelings. There are 3 feelings there. And the feelings are on 2 levels. These 3 feelings are on 2 levels. One is the sensory level or sensorial level, and one is the mental level. Mental level and the sensorial level. And to distinguish the two is very important. At times it can be a little difficult. At times it can be a little difficult. For example, say somebody hits you, there's a pain. Of course, this is physical. This is physical. Okay, I don't want to go too much into that. So what is the same? Feelings is on 2 levels. Sensory level and the mental level. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness is and the book, Opening the Eyes of New Awareness. Opening the eyes of new awareness. There, which I think I studied when I was class 9, age 15 or 16. It was our syllabus, a Tibetan, a part of the Tibetan course. And so there, His Holiness mentioned that the feelings, say, what's the benefit of the practice of the Dharma? The benefit of the practice of the Dharma is that although you encounter with the physical pains, but the Dharma practice will help maintain take care of your mental feelings, and the joy of the Dharma practice of the mental can supersede your physical pains. Because of which, even if you have severe physical pains, you will not end up in, the complaining. Oh, this bad, that bad, this, everything is, you will not do that. Your mind is way more calm if you are sincerely into the Dhamma practice. So this, I think His Holiness wrote when His Holiness must be in his 20s. It's amazing. This book is, okay. So we can read this book. is extremely beautiful and very helpful. Okay, 88. If suffering was absolute meaning intrinsic, the suffering is intrinsic, the pain. Suffering meaning the feeling of pain. We're talking about the mindfulness of the feeling. If the feeling of the pain is absolute by nature, absolute, why does it not undermine our experiences of extreme joy? For example, say that say we have the, okay, let's say that, okay, say you are enjoying a sunshine, right? Sunshine. Say, for example, in Dharamsala, in the monsoon, sunshine is much less. You don't really see the sunshine. And say one day there's a sunshine. And by the way, in Dharamsala, once sunshine is there, sunshine is very beautiful. Everything is glittering. You notice that? So Dharamsala people, you notice that. Will not notice it. You'll take for granted. Delhi people will notice that. Everything is literally glittering. It's amazing. Okay, so imagine you are enjoying sunshine, right? You're happy, not happy? Happy of a pleasant feeling. And suddenly you hear very bad news, acute bad news. Instantly this pleasant feeling will be overturned, right? Bad feeling, unpleasant feeling will overturn, or it will just overshadow this pleasant feeling, and pleasant feeling gone. Okay, under this situation, if this unpleasant feeling, the pleasant feeling which you had, so it says, okay, now why does it not undermine the experience of joy? Okay, this is the opposite way. So there are two ways. You can apply it both ways. Let's say that you are a little sad. You're a little sad. It's fine. So you can just apply it in both ways. So let's say that you're enjoying the sunshine, pleasant feeling, and the suddenly bad news you hear is so bad that unpleasant feeling overrides the pleasant feeling. So the earlier pleasant feeling, if it did exist intrinsically, which means that from its own, no factor can change it. So it should forever remain as intrinsic as the pleasant feeling. But when the more powerful unpleasant feeling comes, pleasant feeling is disrupted, which means that it's affected by other factors. It is not independent, it is dependent. Okay, if suffering was absolute by nature, why does it not undermine our experience of the extreme joy? And if happiness exists, likewise, if happiness exists intrinsically, why does a good taste and so forth not delight someone tormented by grief and the like? Okay, how many of you, although you like momos or cheesecake and so forth, when you are grieved, when you are stricken with the acute grief, then even if you eat momos, does it taste good? No, you don't really feel the taste. So therefore, the thing is that the joy of eating momos, it is not intrinsic, because when it arises, then you should be able to get rid of your pains, but the pain overrides it, so you don't feel the joy anymore. 89. Suppose you answer, it is not experienced because it is overridden. Let's say that the joy of the sunshine, and then the sad news comes and the joy disappeared. So the advocates of objective reality, they said that, okay, so the pain is not gone completely. The pain, it has gross pain, the gross happiness, joy of sunshine, the gross one has become subtle. And now the grosser pain came, the sadness, because of the bad news comes, but the joy is not removed. It is still there, in a subtle form. Now the pain has become very gross, and the joy is in the subtle form. This is what the opponents say. Okay, now the point which is going to be made is very important, which Bodhisattva was making is very important. Okay. To how many of you it makes sense that, for example, you are very calm, pleasant, and happy in sunshine, and suddenly very bad, you heard very bad news. So your mental feels so disturbed. So, but the earlier pleasant feeling, it which is otherwise very manifest form, it becomes now, it shrinks. It shrinks and it becomes subtle, which you don't notice. For example, like how many you take, the intake of a salt is enormous, meaning that you take a lot of salt in your food, raise hands. I'm not saying 1 kg of salt. This is not what I'm saying. Well, the doctors tell me average one is the 1 gram, 2 grams per food. You know? Okay. Yes. The doctor there, 2 grams. 2 grams. For the Russian? For a day. For 1 day, 5 grams. Per day. Okay. The Dr. Pushpa is 2 grams per food. Whole day. So Indians take less salt.
Talking about England.
England.
I work there, yeah.
Okay. So England, Russian. Okay. Anyone else? Any other doctors? Okay. So let's say average 5 gram. Is that 2 grams? Yeah, that's true. It's like 2 grams. 2 grams per meal. Let's say 2 grams per day. Okay, then what is the average? Per day. 1.5 grams, let's say. Okay, let's say 1.5 grams. To balance the two. Okay, 1.5 grams of salt. One day, I've made say, very close friend couple. There are 2 couple, and I prepared veg momos, not non-veg momos, veg momos. What? Veg momos, not non-veg momos, veg momos. Then that day, I served 2 of them, and I thought that there's excess salt in it, so I do not want to tell them. If I tell them excess salt, psychologically they will be affected. So I did not say anything, just I served. And then I asked, do you need more salt? Right? Right? Do you need more salt? Let me know. Right? I didn't say, is salt too much? Psychology will be affected. So I said, do you need salt? Let me know. Then the gentleman said, yes. Right? Right? Okay. So for him, which I considered as very salty, for him is tasteless, no salt. Then he added more salt to this. You're getting it? So those people who take so much of salt, for them, a little salt is no salt. You agree? No salt. Only when you keep reducing your salt amount and gradually come back to 1.5 gram, then you will start tasting the salt. So if you're taking like 5 grams per meal, you will not taste the salt of 1 gram salt. You will not taste it. Okay. So which means that when you eat the food, you don't taste it, but is there a salt or not? You want about 5 grams of salt in 1 meal. Input the salt in the food is 1 gram. Is there salt or not? There's a salt. And do you feel the salt or not? This is my question to you. You don't feel the salt. Are you sure? So let's say a food with 5 grams salt. Next food with 1.5 grams salt. And the third food without salt. Right? If you eat it, if you are somebody who always eats food with 5 grams salt, you eat the second food with the 1.5 grams salt. Oh, it's so bland. Then you eat the third one, zero salt, would you see difference or not? You will see the difference. You will say that I prefer the second one, not the first one. You're getting it? So which means that you are feeling the salt. So your excess salt, your your habituation for the excess salt, that overrides the taste of the one with less salt. So how do you know that you have the taste of salt? When you eat the third food without the salt, you can distinguish the difference between the two. You agree? Not agree? If you agree, in a way you're agreeing with the opponents of Bodhisattva Shantideva, right? Saying that when the pleasant feeling is there, the unpleasant overrides it. Very bad news, you hear the very bad news, so unpleasant feeling comes. So the pleasant, what happens to pleasant, with the early pleasant feeling? It becomes it shrinks. It does not disappear. It shrinks. It becomes subtle. You're getting it? You may not feel it, but it's actually there. You agree? Not agree? Not agree. Agree. Not agree. Why not agree? Mike?
Because Geshe, pleasant feeling and the unpleasant feeling can never be together.
Why not?
Because if you really see the nature of the feeling, so even that is a mind, right? And it should have the 5 omnipresent mental factor. So the intention that moves with it, with pleasant feeling, it will move in another direction, and with the unpleasant, it moves in the other direction. So these two opposite movement of the mind cannot be together in the same moment.
Why not?
Because
I'll give you an
I cannot
example.
go
Okay,
north
I'll
and
give.
south
I know what
together.
you're saying. I know what you're saying. Let me give you an example. You're getting it? She's a little stubborn. No, I'll explain something. Listen, look. Okay. No need to say. Okay. So let's say that say you are going south. You are going south with the speed of 10 kilometers per hour. And somebody's pulling you back 5 kilometers per hour. You're getting it? So two things happening simultaneously. Right? You are going in the, look. It is so easy. Still she's not accepting it, knowing that it will affect.
I think the speed reduces.
Listen. So listen. You are moving in 10 kilometers per hour. Other person pulling you back 5 kilometers per hour. So both are exerting force, two opposite forces. So what you can actually move is only 5 kilometers per hour. But the energy that you're exerting is energy for 5 kilometers per hour. You getting it? So both are acting together.
They are acting together.
Opposite direction. Is happening or not?
It's happening.
Opening direction.
Yes.
In opposite, listen. Going, the force applied in the opposite direction is possible with one person. Yes, no.
The two different forces on me, it's possible, but I will move in one direction.
No, this is not
My
question.
speed will reduce.
Say, two opposite forces can happen on the same person.
Yeah, mentally.
Two opposite forces,
Yes.
right? So two opposite forces in the opposite direction,
Yes.
right? So therefore, the feeling also, it may not be moving, but feeling-wise, you are experiencing two different feelings. One pleasant, unpleasant feeling. What moves, maybe the stronger one will move.
So therefore, Geshe, which one moving, that will
Moving,
be
you said it. I didn't say this. What I said, two feelings are experienced together.
the... Yes.
Like if you have a very hot tea and you put a little cold milk, will it not become warm? So it's pleasant and unpleasant. It's feeling the warm and hot.
Your name?
And Pasha.
Paul, Pasha. Pasha, don't look at me. Look at this. No.
I'm looking at you. I'm trying to help you to
No, you're helping me.
handle you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're helping me. But this, we should be convinced. Okay. Okay, thank you. So the point is that, right? The point is that this Bodhisattva Shantideva, the point that he made is that to say it is a feeling, somebody has to experience it. If you don't experience it, it's not a feeling. You're getting it? This is the argument. Not to be staunch. When you staunch holding. So this is a real argument. So to say that it's a feeling, very definite feeling is that somebody has to experience it. If you don't experience it, it's not a feeling. So therefore, when you say that I'm extremely sad by the bad news, so you are not experiencing the pleasant feeling. You're not experiencing that. Because what you are not experiencing is not a feeling. Okay, so it says, 89. Suppose you answer, it is not experienced because it is overwritten by something more intense, but it is there in a subtle form. Then Bodhisattva Shantideva says, well, how can something not in the nature of an experience? If you're not experiencing that, how can that be a feeling? Still be categorized as a feeling. 90. Suppose you reply, could it not still be suffering in a subtle state? So the opponents again say that, for example, say, now the suffering overridden by the happiness, let's say, suffering overridden by the happiness. You're a little sad over losing what? Over losing, let's say, the X amount of money. And somebody said, don't worry. Then the person gives you 10 times the X amount of money. You're happy, not happy? You're very happy. So earlier sadness is overridden by the happiness. So this sadness, the opponent saying that the sadness is still there, but the more intense happiness came over, so that you could not feel it. Actually, it's there. It's there. So it is in the form. Opponents is saying that this subtle sadness is in the form of a subtle feeling, and the more intense happiness of getting X amount of the money is the what overrides. So these two are there. Okay. After the 90. Suppose you reply, could it not still be suffering in a subtle state after this gross level has been displaced? Displaced by the grosser level of the happiness. Well then, you could also say that other than that extreme joy, it was a slight level of joy, say, which means that with the manifest gross sadness, there's gross subtle, the subtle sadness there. So gross one is replaced by the gross happiness, so the subtle one is still there, which means that when the gross happiness is there, gross subtle should be also there. So the gross subtle feeling and the the subtle sad feeling and the subtle joy, the two cannot be together. Because, see, in the first place, you say that gross and subtle. But on the subtle, you can think of two. The subtle sad feeling and the subtle happiness. So there, it cannot be like this. So therefore, you have to say that either subtle sadness is the happiness or subtle happiness is the subtle sadness, which is totally contradictory. Nostalgia. What is that? No, with nostalgia. How would you relate it here?
So you have very pleasant memories of the past, but then you're sad because they're no longer here.
Okay. How many of you would say that a pleasant, say nostalgia, there's a mix of pleasant moment, pleasant feeling, and a sad feeling. Is what it's saying? Mix of the two, right? The mixture, is it pleasant or not pleasant? How many of you like the nostalgic feeling? Oh, my mother. You like it? You don't like it? You like it? You like it? It's not sad. This is samsara. Oh, good sadness. So we'll have good sadness, right? Oh, I'm so excited today. I'll have good sadness. This is amazing. A 21st century psychologist. Good sadness, right? What is that? It's not good sadness, it's a pleasant sadness. What do you call it? Huh? Pleasant sadness. Is it? Is it? No, what if it's your version? I'm not going to influence.
Wait, sorry, what's the question?
Oh, the question. Okay, so you like to have this the
Nostalgia.
sad, nostalgic feeling.
Sometimes it feels, I don't know, it feels pleasant. It's like a good sad.
It's pleasant sad. It's a pleasantly sad. Okay, it's a pleasant feeling. It's not unpleasant.
It's not.
It's not what?
It's not pleasant or not unpleasant.
So you said pleasant, and now you're saying not.
Okay, it's pleasant.
Huh?
It's not unpleasant. It's
It's not unpleasant, it's pleasant.
It's a little more pleasant.
You like it.
A little bit.
You like it.
It's okay.
So this is Densei Santana's standpoint. Anybody else? Okay, first Nicola.
Geshe, I think in this case, it's not really mixed, it's alternating. Like I'm remembering good memories, so it makes me happy. But then I miss those times, so then I have an unpleasant feeling. Like it's not mixed, it's going one after the other.
Okay, I think we need somebody to do PhD on this. Right? Okay, this is interesting. So it's a mix of feeling or it's not mixed, pleasant, unpleasant, pleasant, unpleasant, just alternate between the two. Think of the mother, it gives you pleasance. The separation, it makes you feel sad, right? Okay, this is interesting. I cannot decide, right? Okay.
Just as a general point or question, but it could be relevant to this too. Shouldn't there be able to be multiple feelings that could potentially be one pleasant, one unpleasant, because there can be multiple consciousnesses active at once
Simultaneously. Multiple conscious meaning.
So thinking of nostalgia, maybe there's like an unpleasant feeling in the body occurring, physical sensation, but a pleasant mental feeling, or vice versa, something like that simultaneously. So that could account for the mix, or the perception of a mix of feeling. Or just even in general, I can have a pain
let's
in my
say-
knee while I'm looking at a beautiful flower and have a pleasant visual consciousness, feeling with the visual consciousness and a painful feeling with
Nostalgia, is it sensory or mental?
Nostalgia is probably a mix, it seems like, yeah.
Nostalgia is a mix.
There's probably some physical, I would have to pass it back to the psychologist,
Can
but
you,
yeah.
can you give an example? Say nostalgia, the physical and mental mix. How?
Well, because there's emotional content with the memory and the mental feeling, the conception. But there's also physical sensation occurring.
Okay, let's say
Interoceptively.
Let's say that it's a memory of yourself being a mother 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's purely memory. Purely mental, right?
Okay.
That's the object.
Yeah.
So how is the sensory?
That is not sensory.
Huh?
The memory, that's...
No. What I'm saying is that, so nostalgia, now I can think of your mom. Say, for example, you sensory first, you see this particular flower. It's purely sensory. And from there, it takes me back to 20 years ago with my mother.
Right.
And my mother used to, pluck these flowers.
Right.
And then they keep it in order and so forth.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of my mother. So nostalgic feeling comes.
Yeah.
You getting it? So first the trigger was this sensory. Okay, that's the first moment. The next moment is the first one is not nostalgia.
Yeah.
So it triggers the memory of the past. That is the nostalgia.
And that memory itself could, in many cases, would trigger some sensation internally, interoceptively. Maybe your heart rate increases. There's some warmth, maybe something like that in your chest area.
So that is pleasant, unpleasant.
To me, it feels pleasant.
Pleasant.
Yeah.
So nostalgic feeling, mental feeling, pleasant, unpleasant.
I mean, for me, I always experience nostalgia as pleasant, so it's always pleasant.
Always pleasant, not sad.
I don't think so. No.
So there's no nostalgia should necessarily be not sadness.
Well, in me, my understanding of what nostalgia is, yes.
So say there's somebody's crying, right? Crying and feeling so low. What happened? I'm nostalgic of my childhood days.
Yeah.
It's very pleasant.
They have a different type of nostalgia there. I think
So
theirs
you
would be
never
sad.
had the experience.
I don't usually cry when I feel nostalgia.
But people can cry.
No, I don't know. Really don't know. Yes, okay.
Okay.
We have a yes. Women maybe.
Okay, over there, the lady over there.
Я считаю, что ностальгия, она всегда связана с приятными воспоминаниями. Просто почему мы можем испытывать грусть, она всегда связана с чувством сожаления. И поэтому мы можем и плакать, и еще как-то грустно на это реагировать.
I think that the nostalgic feeling itself, it usually is pleasant memory. It usually related with the pleasant memory, and the feeling of sadness comes when we feel a sorrow, and when we realize that it is no more, it is gone, and sometimes we can even, shed the tears, cry. And I think that nostalgia is related with the pleasant memories and the feeling of loss and sorrow that it is no more.
Good. So I would say that it can be both. Nostalgia over the loss of somebody, nostalgia of somebody related to the loss. Nostalgia of somebody with whom you have spent good times, now that time is gone. Right? Okay, so these are all there should be some psychologists, right? It is your job. Okay, so now I would say Binduji and Ladullah. Binduji first.
Geshe, I just wanted to give an example. This morning when you made us do the exercises, you said, do you experience a pleasurable pain?
This is not my word. My word is pleasant pain.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Together.
So?
So there.
And everybody said yes.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Who said yes?
Yes, we all did.
So this
experience.
mix.
Yes, this.
Okay. That's amazing. Okay. Mike. Okay, maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's more important to contemplate this in terms of compassion.
How?
So when we think of the suffering of others, that can be painful. But then we understand the benefit that can mean for us.
Which means there's a mix of the two feelings.
Yeah.
Okay, so what Mark is saying is that there's a sadness in when you think of the pains of others. And then you also feel the benefit of, that my compassion is increasing, I'm able to benefit somebody. And so there's pleasant feelings also coming. There's a mix of the two. Okay, so I'm not going to judge on this. We'll keep this as for the analysis, but I may comment on this a little bit later. Okay, first Lajunla.
Geshe, sorry, I have a question that when Bodhisattva Shantadeva said, when gross happiness is there, then there should be like, then there are two subtle, even subtle happiness and subtle sadness also.
This not Bodhisattva Shanti was saying.
Okay.
Bodhisattva Shanti was saying, if you say
If you
that where there is a gross happiness which overrides replaces the gross sadness, then the underneath the gross sadness is removed, but the subtle sadness is still there. So with the gross happiness and the subtle sadness there, which means that with the gross happiness is there, subtle happiness should be also there. So there should be two subtle levels: subtle sadness, subtle happiness. But the gross, just as on the gross level, they cannot be two. Likewise, on the subtle also, they cannot be two. Which means the misery should be sadness, or sadness should the sadness should be happiness, or happiness should be misery, which is ridiculous.
So two gross, two subtle, you mean to say?
No. So
One gross,
one
two
gross,
subtle.
one subtle.
One gross, one subtle?
But if you say with the gross happiness replacing the gross sadness, and say that with the gross happiness underlying this gross sadness, subtle sadness, then the gross happiness, there should be the subtle happiness also there. So there should be two, and they cannot be two. It should
Why it is not possible, Geshe?
Which one?
Like gross happiness and subtle happiness together?
No. Gross happiness and subtle happiness, they are together is fine. So gross happiness and gross sadness cannot be together. Okay, let's put it like this. Okay, let's like this. Gross sadness, subtle sadness. Down is the subtle. Gross sadness, subtle sadness. So gross sadness is replaced by gross happiness. You getting it? Gross happiness. So now what is left? Gross happiness and subtle sadness. But where this gross happiness, there should be also gross sadness also. No. Where there's gross joy, there should be the subtle joy also should be there. For example, say the garlic is there, subtle smell of the garlic should be also there. Agreeing? So on sadness, the subtle level, there are two. Subtle sadness and subtle happiness, both are there. So with just as on the gross level, they cannot be two, on subtle level also they cannot be two. If the two cannot be there, either you have to say subtle sadness is happiness, or happiness is subtle sadness. You have to say that. This is ridiculous. Okay. Yes, Shak. And then we'll stop here.
There's maybe a psychological answer to it. There's a well-researched theory by Richard Schwartz called internal family systems that explains this situation as the mind consisting of parts. And for example, a father with his child in an amusement park having a call rushing to the office. You should rush to the office. So he sees the son enjoying himself, but he also feels anxiety that he needs to go. So both happen. And these parts can conflict. There can arise more emotions, guilt, for example. So that's an explanation for this question, parts in the mind.
Okay. So what Shak is saying is that the father being in the park with the child, and the child is very happy to be the father, but the father has an anxiety that they rush to the office. So there's the anxiety element also, there's the joy to be with the child also. So these two emotions are simultaneous. You are saying this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is actually discussed in great detail, not just detail, in depth, in the subtle discussion done in Acharya Chandra, this text, Madhyamaka. So because of which what Nico said, I just hold it back for some time to see what's the thoughts. So the idea is that our mind cannot have the experience of the joy and sadness together. This scientist, what he said, seems like we get the impression that these two are happening together. These two emotions, happiness of being with the child, and the stress or unhappiness after a rush to the office. These two are simultaneous. Actually, in reality, these two are not simultaneous. So these two are not simultaneous. This is a very important point to take note of. Our mind, this is what we need to know, particularly the psychologist. Clinical psychologists, if there's any, it's so important to know this. It's so important to know this, where the mind, our mind works so fast. It can work so fast. And it can be extremely slow. It can work so fast also. You getting it? It can work so fast and so slow also. So, if we train our mind, we get a feeling as though okay, let me put it like this. Say on the one hand, say two colors mixed. Blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. Then you try to just like the book, like do like this, you see as though like the two colors are simultaneous. These two are not two simultaneous. Blue, after that red. Blue stops, red appears. Red stops, blue appears, only one at a time. But a mind cannot see that as consecutive, see that as simultaneous. Simultaneous, there are two colors there. And the scientists would say that you see the two colors, so your brain works like this. It's not like this. Our mind works so fast to see the red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. Conclusion drawn is erroneous, that there are two colors simultaneous. That's wrong conclusion. The individual information, raw information the mind is getting is just amazing. The conclusion the mind draws is erroneous. Okay, so this is on these amazing psychological thoughts, and then the past Indian masters. Okay, good. Which verse we are reading now? 91. Okay. 91. Suppose you say, but with the arising of discordant conditions, there is no arising of suffering. Well, is it not established that the feeling is merely something imputed by a conceptual thought? So here we see that, when you are experiencing the suffering, and then the happiness, a more intense happiness comes, the suffering subsides. So what the opponent is saying is that, but with the arising of discordant factors, so there's the early experience, so sadness, then the happy factors arise and the sadness subsides, which means it is dependent origination. It is not independent, it is not objective. There's no arising of suffering. Well, is it not established that feeling is merely something imputed by conceptual thought, that it is not independent, it is dependent. 92. Because of that, one should meditate on this analytical, it is more like a summary. So therefore, we need to meditate on how the feeling is not objectively real, not independently real, not intrinsically real. Meditate on this analytical remedy, the concentrative mind that grows from the field of examination, meaning analytical meditation. So look, concentration mind, this is the single point of meditation that grows from the field of examination. This is analytical meditation. These two go hand in hand. Look, Bodhisattva Shantideva very clearly indicated this. It's the food of the yogis. This is what the yogis would survive on. They say, do analysis, you conclude, and then do single point meditation on that. That the feeling, with analysis, you conclude that the feeling is like a dream, is empty of true existence. Once you know that, then do this stability meditation, meaning that the shamatha meditation on that. Okay, now the next is the 93. Verse number 3, this is very important. Okay, so the it may seem like I'm giving a lot of information. On top of the information from Bodhisattva Shantideva's texts, I'm also adding many information extra. You just note them down. This will be very useful in the future. Say how the feelings arise. How the feelings arise. How the feelings rise. First, let me say, then in Dhamramkot, what is said is that the feelings triggered by the contacts. Feelings triggered by the contacts. Okay. In the Wheel of Life, show that to me. In the Wheel of Life. Wheel of Life painting. Page number 328. Page number 328. So there, let's say the number 6. What do you see on number 6? Number 6, a couple. A couple, a couple with contact. So it doesn't mean a couple. It's just symbolic. It is actually where it is, where in the mother's womb. In the mother's womb, your senses and the corresponding objects. For example, your I sense power, and the corresponding object, which is visual object. I sense power and the visual object, these two come in contact. In the mother's womb, they're same. You are conceived in the mother's womb, and then you keep growing, and gradually these sense organs, they start to come out like shape. They start to take shape, and then not only the sense organs, then the sense, they become active. Sense powers, they become active. Like I sense power become active. Ear, nose, tongue, body, they become active. Active meaning that they come in contact with their respective objects. So the contact, which is number 6. So there's a contact there, but the contact is so the immature contact that, for example, your feet becomes numb. Your feet becomes, sometimes you sit for too long, then your feet becomes numb, and then when you put on put it on the floor, you step on the floor, you could feel the contact. You can feel the contact, but you cannot feel it's rough or smooth or whatever. You cannot feel that. You're getting it rough, smooth, and so forth. You cannot discern, but you see that your feet has touched the ground. You could feel just the numbness. Numb contact is there, but you don't feel this is rough, this is smooth, this is this, you don't feel it. So this is at the initial phase you're growing. So first organs grow, sense organs grow, then the sense powers, they come in contact with the respective objects. So there's a mere contact, which is like the numbness, not really feeling pleasant or unpleasant. So then what is next? Feeling, number 7, feeling. So after the contact, feeling comes. Then when the sense powers, they become more matured. Then they could actually feel, not only contact, they could feel something. It's pleasant, unpleasant, and so forth. Okay, so the feeling arises from the contact. You're getting it? From the Wheel of Life, 12 things of dependent origination. And also, if we talk about this, the 5 omnipresent mental factors, the mind. Okay, this is it doesn't matter. So your mind has multiple functions. Your mind has multiple functions, and the functions of the mind, they are put into different sets. One set, which is extremely important, is known as the 5 omnipresent mental factors. 5 omnipresent or 5 ever-present mental factors. The 5 of them are there, 5 functions. Number 1, contact. Number 2, attention. Number 3, discrimination. Number 4, feeling. Number 5, intention. Very good. So these 5, we see that first one is contact. Then the contact with the object. To make it more fine, you pay attention. And then you discriminate that, oh, this is good, this is bad, this is nice, not nice, so forth. And then the feelings arise. So first contact, and then eventually give rise to the feelings. You're getting it? So here in the wheel of life, number 6 is contact, number 7 is the feeling. So these in more detail, then we talk about the contact, attention, discrimination, and feeling. You're getting it? Okay, so with this, Buddhism said, we have the misperception that the feelings, and this is very important. In fact, we suffer primarily, direct impact of the suffering is triggered by seeing the feelings as objectively real. Feelings objectively real. So of the 5 omnipresent mental factors, after the feeling comes intention. You getting it? So intention, immediate cause of suffering is? Immediate cause of suffering is what? Immediate cause of suffering, I think we learned it 20 years ago. No, 40 years ago. How many days gone by? 5 days, 50 years gone, 5 years gone, 5 years gone. Immediate cause of suffering is contaminated karmas. We learned that. And immediate cause of so what is karma? Action. Action. And action, more precisely, the intention. You're getting it? What is intention? Which makes the mind to move. Which makes the mind to move. Because of the movement of the mind, then your physical and the verbal also move because of the mind. The mind makes the physical and the mental, the verbal to move. So, immediate cause of suffering is the karmas, and karmas are nothing but the intention, mental function, the intention, and intention is what makes the mind move. What makes the mind move in a conducive? What makes the mind move in a wholesome way? What makes the mind to move in an unwholesome way? Right? Unwholesome way meaning like resistance. Resistance. This, if it is prolonged, it can make you go into depression, stress, anxiety, and so forth. Whereas a very pleasant movement, again, very pleasant movement, embracing, this is compassion, love, affection, so forth. So pleasant movement and the rejection, movement in the form of rejection there too. So the movement in the form of the rejection is again because of the intention. Before the intention, what is there? Feeling. What makes the mind to reject? The movement of mind move to reject things, resist things. When do you resist somebody? Say, there's a friend of mine, and he and his family come to my place. He always listens to me. Sometimes when I say something which does not, which he doesn't want to, which is not really what he likes to listen, right? Usually he would insist that, can I stay a little longer? Can I stay a little longer with me? Right? So, okay, now I'm a little busy. Geshe, can I stay another 5 minutes? So usually this is the style. And then when I say something which he doesn't agree, right? Then he says, okay, now I have to leave. No, I have to leave. Even the small children, I've seen with this one gentleman, and there was another little child. Usually this little child is so fond of me. I give chocolates, all this, and so fond of me. And one day I said something, oh, you should not have done like this. And the child was not too happy. And the child was telling the father, when shall we have to go? Not happy. So what is happening? So I want to go. Go means I want to move. Physical move. What makes the person want to make the physical movement is supposed to mental movement. Mental movement to run away from this place. Why run away from this place, from this man? Why run away from this man is that this man, there's unpleasant feeling coming with this man. Unpleasant feeling comes. You're getting why unpleasant feeling comes? Why unpleasant feeling comes? What triggers unpleasant feeling? Most of this man saying something not good. Right? So that is, how does you know that? How do you know that? Because of discrimination. Is he really saying something against me, which I don't like to hear? Discrimination? Yes, of course. Discrimination. So for this, it is preceded by contact with the information and paying attention to the information. Contact, attention, then the discrimination. Then that decides the feeling. Unpleasant feeling comes, you like it or not like. This child likes it or not like. Child doesn't like it. Because the child doesn't like it, so the child will try to get away from the unpleasant feeling. How to get away from unpleasant feeling? Get away from the stimulus of the unpleasant feeling, the trigger of the unpleasant feeling. What triggered the unpleasant feeling? This man who talked not nice today. Right? I should get away from this. So said, Dad, is it not time for us to go? Right? Okay. So this is how the mind works. You're getting it? So finally, say, all the sentient beings. So, embrace all sentient beings. Right? Or, the humanity is hopeless. Humanity is devil. Human beings are devils. Right? Human beings are devils. Why? Because you think of the human beings, unpleasant feeling comes. Why you get unpleasant feeling? Because of discrimination. That human beings are devils. Human beings, they are so unkind, so nasty, and so forth. Discrimination. Whereas, the human beings, sentient beings, everybody is so nice. It is because of them that I get the opportunity to practice compassion, as Magla said. Because of them I get the opportunity to practice compassion. Because of them that I can get away from the negative karmas, because of which I can get away from the miseries. I'm so grateful to all sentient beings. Just the thought of the sentient beings gives you a pleasant feeling. You like the pleasant feeling or not? You like the pleasant feeling. What triggers the pleasant feeling? All the sentient beings. So that the mind intention will embrace the beings. You're getting it? This amazing psychology that is taught, that you find in the Buddhist psychology. This is amazing. Okay, Dr. Pushpaji, Mike.
Geshe, this is so interesting. 50% of my patients suffer like this. Initially, I also practice chronic pain. They come with pain. And, it should not be that much pain what they experience. And how it starts is small pain. And then they look fine. And people say, oh, you look fine. Everything is in your head, in your mind. And that disturbs them. And work that happens. And they'll have the relationship get disturbed. When they go home, the same thing. Partner will say, oh, it looks all fine. And the anger. And then in work, they can't work properly. And then they lose their job. And then it affects financially. And then they think, oh, I'm in pain. I shouldn't be doing anything. And disability. And they just end up in wheelchair. They'll be about 25, 30 years. And it's so difficult to explain. And this simple physical pain turns out to be a pain syndrome. And I can tell you 60% of my patients are suffering like this.
It's true.
It is.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very true. Very true. In fact, this is very true. In fact, they say your thought processes, they can affect your physiology. Your physiology can affect your biology. This is so important. Oh, you are sick. Oh, you are sick. Take care. Right? Okay, you need help. Right? No, I'm fine. No, you need help. Please help me. Right? Something's wrong with me. Right? Right? I think I'm okay, but this how they say it's sort of whole world is collapsing, right? So then which means maybe I'm mental crazy, right? Are you okay? Right? No, keep it very normal. Make sure that if there's some problem, make sure that the person goes through the proper test. Test done, and many a times, small problems then be cured by your mental thinking. Just treat them very normally. Treat them as very normal. Right? Don't say that you are normal. Right? When you say you are normal, why are you wasting your money? And particular husband, wife. Right? Do you think we have enough money? Why you have to go to hospital? Again, you're paying $100, right? So it is like my health is destroying the economy and you're worried about the economy, not my health. You're getting it? Then anger rises. So this anger will then destroy your immunity. You're getting it? So when somebody is going through problems, make sure that you treat the person very normal. Don't take it. Don't treat like this. You're getting it? Just was very normal, and make sure that the person, there's no major problems there. Whatever test to be done, make sure the person does the test. And oftentimes how you treat the person immunity will be boosted. And this immunity will fight the illnesses. You're getting it? Oftentimes just by saying, then oh no, this, then, right? Right? And then, you feel so weak, yeah, right? Then you touch it, instead you do like this. The person comes, you do this, right? And then mentally you feel so weak. Mentally you are weak, your mind will make your immunity feel weak. And physiology will weaken. And it affects your biology. You're getting it? So therefore, it is very important to say a sick person, just oftentimes, even if there's a major injury, right? Imagine all these things, take them. But the recovery can be very quick if you let the person feel normal. If you make the person feel that you are sick, this is so bad, it can affect like this, ever say, this chocolate hits me like this. Oh, anything, some injury inside. Right? What is this? You grab like this chocolate. It's fun. And now the chocolate, oh. Okay. Make sure that, say, the recovery can happen through two ways. One is medical attention. Number two is the mind. We should put effort on both sides. Medical attention plus the mind. Make the mind strong. Don't make the mind weak. So just imagine that a person has the ulcer problem because of mental stress. And you keep giving the medicines, and the mental stress is always there. The cause of the mental stress is always there, and this stress is this ulcer is because of the mental stress, because of the boss, and boss is always there, and you keep at the what is that, the omeprazole, pantoprazole, and what else? Oh, keep giving the medicines, and just symptomatic treatment happens. But deep inside, the ulcer will never go away because the root cause is still there, boss is still there. You're confident the boss is there. You're getting it? And keep giving the medications. So we just check overall, not just the, let's say, the symptomatic problem, why this ulcer is happening. If you come to know it's happening because of the say the boss. Okay, we can, I would say I like to finish up to minimum up to the 100, 101. This is very important. I'm sharing with you. So I need another minimum 10-15 minutes. So the one time there was a gentleman who came to attend my teaching. And during my personal meeting with him, he said that I'm on antidepressants. I'm on antidepressants. And these antidepressants can be heavy on a body, so much of side effects. Then I'm not a medical doctor. So I just take somebody said, oh, it's okay. So any problem? In the course for communication, I came to know that this depression is because of his boss. Boss being very biased, and he's constantly under the boss, and then all the biases happening on a regular basis, daily basis. I came to know that. Then I told him, stop taking the medication. You're getting it? Because by taking the medicines, the boss will not change. By taking the medicines, oh, this boy must be taking medicine. I could feel something, so I should change. Boss will not change. So these medicines are poison for you, because your boss will not change. As long as you are under the boss, the stress is bound to be there, depression is bound to be there. So what do you do? I said that when I say stop taking the medicines, doesn't mean that you have to stop it now. Either you change the job, instantly your depression will go away. Stop the medication. Don't keep taking the medications. So you have to think of both. This problem is not because of any other thing, because of the wrong boss. Because of the wrong boss. And the medications will not remove the wrong boss. So as long as the wrong boss is there, your depression will continuously be there. So medications are only temporary solution, whereby you are going to have all the side effects, one after the other, one after the other, and it will destroy your immunity. It will destroy the basic health of your bodily cells. So I said, change the job. Change the job. So these are things that we need to remember. Okay, so the feelings are very important, which decides almost like all our actions. Feelings are so important to make sure that the feelings are under control, that it is a pleasant feeling all the time. And Bodhisattva Shantideva, in chapter 6, he said that what you do is determined by the feelings. Make sure that the anger is the result of the unpleasant feelings. Make sure the unpleasant feelings are under check. So, with this in mind, which verse we are reading now? 94. Yet there cannot be a penetration of, 93. Okay, so now, what we are saying is that feelings are triggered by the contact of your consciousness and the object. The contact and attention, discrimination, then the feeling. So the contact. Now, if you come to know that the contact does not exist intrinsically, then you can see that feeling does not exist intrinsically. So when you see that feeling does not exist intrinsically, you will not be affected by the feelings. We are affected by the unpleasant feelings. How the unpleasant feelings? Unpleasant feelings all, again, underscoring all the unpleasant feeling is the belief in objective existence. When you see that feelings don't exist objectively, unpleasant feeling will stop. So how to see the feelings as empty of objective existence? The Bodhisattva Shantideva is giving us many tips. One tip is that cause of the feeling, which is contact. How the contact does not exist intrinsically. When you see that, in the first place, when two things don't come in, there's no intrinsic contact. Where's the intrinsic feeling? Feeling should arise from the contact. If there's no intrinsic contact, there's no intrinsic feeling. So, checking establishing the emptiness of the intrinsic feeling by establishing the emptiness of the intrinsic contact. Okay, 93. If there's a gap between the sense power and an object, say, for example, say, my hand, say, my hand, I grab at the chocolate, let's say, sense power, and the chocolate is the object. So these two come in contact or not? So we say yes, come in contact. So let's say there's no intrinsic contact. There is contact between the object, between the sense power and the object. There's a contact, but there's no, even the contact is also dream-like, is illusion-like. It's not intrinsically real. How not intrinsically real? When you subject to ultimate analysis, then even the contact will not make sense. How? Okay. If there's a gap between the sense power and its object, so your body sense power and the chocolate, this object. So between these two, there's a gap or no gap? Gap or no gap? So if gap, there's a problem. If no gap, there's a problem. You getting it? Then you will say that it's like illusion. Context is like illusion. So if there is a gap, you said there's no gap. So this we will check later. And say the basic belief is what? That things exist. Opponents say that things exist intrinsically real. Okay, don't forget it. If there's a gap between the object and the sense power, where would they meet? They would not meet. If you don't meet, if there's a gap, then you don't meet. You agree? You don't meet. If you don't meet, then you will not get there's no contact. If there's no contact, then you will not feel anything. Okay. If there's a gap between the sense power and its object, where would they meet? And if there is no gap, okay, now look, if there's no gap, then they touch. If there's no gap, they would be fused as one, because you believe that things are objectively real. And objectively real meaning that something should be there. And then finally, if something is objectively, it should be partless. It should be partless. So the analysis which we did before, if the sense power and the object which they come in contact, if these two are partless, then they should fuse as one. Which we studied yesterday, they should fuse as one, which the Eternal Lama explained. Okay. And if there is no gap, they would be fused as one. And the Prince said, what's the meaning of conflation? Becoming one, right? Okay. So the meeting would be of what with what? Where is the meeting happening? With a gap, there should be one. If these two are one, the meeting means there should be two. Two things meeting, yes? Meet means two things, but they are one now. There's no meeting. And if there's a gap, then the meeting, if there's no gap, then it becomes one. There's again no meeting. Where is the meeting? Without the meeting, where is the feeling? Without the meeting, there's a contact. Without contact, where's the feeling? Because the feeling is triggered by the contact. So the meeting would be of what with what? 94. Yet there cannot be penetration of a particle by particle. If you say that, this particle of the chocolate and the particle of the sense power, these two penetrate. Penetrate meaning they become one. It's not possible. Why not? Yet they cannot be penetration of a particle by particle. They have no empty space and they are of uniform size. So these two are uniform size, and inside there's no empty space. So they should not be penetrating. If they don't penetrate, then what happens? They should have a gap. If they don't have a gap, then they should touch. If they touch, what's the problem? Then we should touch with every part. Then two should become one. If these two are one, then there's no meeting. It's just one. Meeting means there should be two. Right? Okay. 94. Yet they cannot be penetration of particle by particle. They have no empty space and they are of uniform size. When there's no penetration, there's no co-mingling. Co-mingling meaning meeting. And when there's no co-mingling, there's no meeting. 95. Moreover, for something that is partless, so if things are intrinsically real, they should be partless. If it's partless, how could what might be called a meeting properly take place? So for a partless, you cannot think of the meeting. So without meeting, there's no contact. If a meeting and being partless can be observed together, so meeting, two things meeting, and being the two things being partless, this is contradictory. If a meeting and being partless can be observed together, then show it, please. Okay. Then the 96. Okay, now this is about this sense power. Say, look at this. I see the flower. You see the flower. So to see the flower, for eye consciousness, see the flower, there should be three things. There should be three things, three causal factors. One is the flower, and number two is the eye sense power. Number three is the immediately preceding consciousness. For example, this is flower. This is flower. This is your consciousness seeing the flower. Before that, there should be consciousness. That consciousness, eye sense power, and the flower, these three should be together. These three should meet, and then the result in the form of eye sense consciousness seeing the flower should arise. Okay. So now the analysis with the object and the sense power, whether they contact, not contact, is already explained. Okay, they contact or not contact. Object, the chocolate, and your hand. Is come in contact or not? No contact. No contact is no meeting, which means you will never feel the taste of the chocolate. Okay, so we are talking about, so this analysis is what? Ultimate analysis. You're getting it? This ultimate analysis. In the conventional sense, yes, contact is there. Without the contact, how can you experience the taste of the chocolate? There's contact. So illusion-like contact is there, which means you analyze it, it's not findable. But they do come in contact. This is undeniable reality. If they don't contact, you cannot have the feeling. So but the feeling, we get the feeling which is undeniable fact. Again, we do get the feelings. Okay. So now next is checking because of these three things, the object, sense power, and the immediate preceding consciousness, these three things. Now the object and the preceding consciousness, do they come in contact or not? This is the answer. Object and the sense power, do they come in contact? This is already analyzed. Now with the consciousness. 96. For a consciousness, immediate preceding consciousness and the physical material things, they too cannot come in contact because one is material, one is immaterial. For a consciousness which is immaterial, a meeting is untenable. Meeting with the physical form is untenable. A collection, so here the collection meaning, say the object, which is nothing, the collection of the parts. Object like the flower, which is a collection of the part as well, does not truly exist because of for the ultimate analysis, we see that the flower does not exist objectively. Analysis undertaken previously is also applicable here, meaning that, so the object person, the flower and so forth, what we say is that earlier, the self does not exist. Self is a person. How do you explain that? The self doesn't exist as object real because the self is made of the parts. You go into the parts, keep breaking it, the self is nowhere to be seen. Likewise, the body is not object real, body is made of parts. I can go into this, you will not see the body. So, this analysis is already done. Whatever is done before, this application is applied to the object. Okay, 97. And so, like that, when contact does not truly, because of this, when you cannot establish the contact, intrinsic contact, from what does a feeling arise? Feeling should arise from contact. When the contact does not exist truly, when the contact is just illusion, object, there's no contact there. So objectively, where's the feeling? Objectively, where's the feeling? From what does the feeling arise? For what reason then is all these painful efforts made? Meaning that, so that, say, Today I'm very excited. Today's my birthday. Oh, whose birthday? Okay, his own's birthday, right? Okay. Okay. Today is so, and somebody cut a cake this morning, right? Somebody cut a cake. It's meant for all of us. So I'm excited out of the cake. I have a very pleasant feeling of the cake, right? You crave for this pleasant feeling of the cake. You're getting it? So if you see that this pleasant feeling of the cake is illusion-like, first of all, your say there's no objective contact between your tongue and the cake, right? Because the cake is made of atoms. Your tongue is made of atoms. And the electrons, they don't really touch each other. Protons, they don't really touch each other. There's no real touch the air, right? You know that? There's no real touch the air. Because they are pushed by what force? Nuclear force? Then what? Electrons, they are negative charges. Negative that they push each other. They don't pull. You're getting it? Electrical force? Okay, electrical force, let's say, according to Paul. Paul, right? Okay, so I quote Paul. If it is wrong, I'm not responsible. Right? So this negative charge, repel or attract? Repel. So therefore, the electrons of the cake and electrons of your tongue, they don't touch. So there's no contact. You're getting it? Oh yeah, that's true. There's no contact. Without the objective contact, how can you feel? Feeling that I'm getting is just illusion, right? Then instantly your attachment subsides. Your attachment subsides. Oh, so now I'm not really excited with the cake. I'd rather pray for his long life rather than craving for the cake. Right? Okay. So this is the benefit of seeing emptiness of the feeling. Okay, so it says, it's not me, it's Bodhisattva Shanti said here. For what reason then is all this painful effort made? Oh, when we'll get this cake, all this effort made. For whom and from what can harm occur? Even the harm. Why we feel irritated? Say, physical pain is there. And then the mental pain is also there. And with the mental pain, when the physical pain, mental pain, when see them as object real. What is meant by harm? Somebody does something and then it creates a pain in you. That is, generally speaking, harm. So it's related to the pain. So when you see the pain is dream-like, then you'll not be affected by the pain. Because of which, for whom and from what can harm occur? So harm is only when you see the pain as object real, then you describe that as harm. So say in the dream, somebody comes to hit you, harm you. So you see the person as harming me, and the feeling as unpleasant, real, the feeling, real person harming me. You wake up. You see this all like dream. So the person inside dream, say you feel the harm, stops when you wake up. So it says that from whom and for whom and from whom, from what can harm occur. Okay, 98. And when no truly existent one feels, when no truly person feels, and feeling as well doesn't truly exist, when no person feels, meaning self as a person. And now the feeling also empties the feeling, and feeling as well doesn't truly exist, then seeing this situation, how is craving not eliminated? So look, contact, feeling, and then contact, pleasant feeling, and craving. So you see the emptiness of the contact, emptiness of the feeling, and emptiness of the craving. Craving stops. Okay. Okay, so now 99, we'll stop here. Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Bodhisvaha. All your three prostrations together.
Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Swaha. 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 Om Muni Muni